everyone. Hello from the pyramids in Cairo. Egypt, a country I have always wanted to explore for years. I finally had the opportunity to make a short visit to Cairo, where I landed to pleasantly find a city filled with energy. This was my view, looking out at the famous Nile River. A quiet dinner afterwards and rest, I was ready to start early in the morning. My Uber picked me up at 8 a.m. and we drove through the streets of Cairo. The driver got lost taking me to Giza, and even today, I ask myself, how can you be an Uber driver in Cairo and get lost taking someone to the pyramids? I had to give him directions in a city I was unfamiliar with, but with adventure, you have to do what it takes to find your way. Eventually, I somehow made it thanks to Google, and I met up with my friend Emad, a UNESCO photographer, who was going to take some cool photos of me while we explored. As I entered Giza, there was no one there. Sad due to COVID, but amazing I won't have to share seeing one of the great wonders of the world. We have learned about the pyramids in school and seen photos, but nothing prepares you to when you walk inside and see the structures for the first time. You feel like you are in the desert in ancient times with miles of sand on one side, camels, and this eerie feeling of a graveyard, yet a fascination of how they built these structures. They were constructed some 4,500 years ago. Pharaoh Khufu built the first pyramid 2,500 years before Christ. His pyramid far right on your screen is the biggest. The original height was 481 feet, about 147 meters. Today, it currently rises to 451 feet, 138 meters. To put that in context, the Statue of Liberty tops out at 305 feet. It's estimated it took 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons, and it took almost 20 years to build. Pharaoh Khufu's pyramid is referred to as the Great Pyramid. Sitting in the middle of the three big pyramids with the white original casing, well, that was built by Khufu's son. The height was originally 471 feet, which is about 143 meters. It appears taller than the Great Pyramid, but this is an illusion. It is built on higher ground and shorter than the Great Pyramid. The third of the big pyramids, which is to the far left, is considerably smaller than the first two. Built by his grandson, it featured a much more complex mortuary temple, and the structure's completed height was only 218 feet, 66 meters. The smaller pyramids were for the wives and daughters. To the south of the Great Pyramid lies the Great Spanx. As old as the pyramids and carved out of limestone, it has the facial features of a man, but the body of a lion. Approximately 66 feet tall, 20 meters, and 240 feet long, 73 meters, it is one of the largest and oldest monolithic statues in the world. The Sphinx was not assembled piece by piece, but was carved from a single mass of limestone. That's impressive. The statue's symbolism is unclear, though inscriptions from the era refer to Ruti, a double lion god that sat at the entrance to the underworld and guarded the horizon where the sun rose and set. It symbolized both strength and wisdom as it faces east and the rising sun. I have to tell you, none of the photos or sketches I'd seen prepared me for the scale and size of it. I ran into a researcher on site and he said some actually think the Sphinx was carved first before the pyramids. The theories will continue for years as they further dig and discover more. At the end of my visit, I wanted to recreate one image of my dad who had visited the pyramids in 1965. I asked Emad to take the identical photograph of me so I could put it side by side. Since 1965, they have put up additional walls and camels are not allowed in the area, more rules. But with technology, Ahmed recreated the image you see here. Then, towards the evening, although I was tired, I went to the heart of Islamic Cairo, deep in the maze of narrow passages of Khan-el-Kahili Bazaar, to first Elfishawi Cafe. This place for over 2 centuries has been serving tea, coffee, and shisha, and a must on your list. Established in the 14th century, the Khan-el-Kahili Market is Cairo's biggest shopping, with lanes selling everything from antiques and stained glass lamps to unique fragrances and spices.
Traffic jam.
It was time to head back to my hotel for the night. Next morning, I headed to the rooftop for breakfast, looking at the world's longest river, the Nile. Cairo is called the city of minarets. It is home to endless number of mosques. Some are relatively small, while others are absolutely magnificent. One such example is the Muhammad Ali Mosque, which sits on the summit of the Citadel. It was built over a course of many years for his son. Most records indicate that construction started in 1830 and was probably completed by 1857. It is today one of the first buildings visible when approaching Cairo from any direction. Inside, the mosque is Turkish in its style and the evidence in its minarets, large chandeliers, decorated walls, and beautiful hanging lamps. Across the road from the entrance to the courtyard of the Muhammad Ali Mosque is the Mosque of Al-Nasir Muhammad. It was built in 1318 as the royal mosque of the Citadel, where the sultans of Cairo performed their Friday prayers. Cairo is the biggest city in North Africa and the largest city in the Middle East. There is so much to see here, yet alone Egypt. I love this city and I cannot wait to come back and explore more of Cairo and Egypt. I'm Nabil Kazi. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe below as I travel to every country in the world and climb the 7 summits. Remember, today is a gift, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Make every day count.